Have you ever wondered why profound knowledge often leads to solitude rather than connection? As we delve into this paradox of knowledge, we find ourselves on a path that is both enlightening and at times isolating. The pursuit of knowledge is often seen as a noble endeavor, a quest for truth that broadens our horizons and deepens our understanding of the world. Yet as we accumulate wisdom, we may find ourselves distancing from the common perceptions and societal norms that bind us together. This is where the paradox lies. This phenomenon is not a new revelation. It has been explored in depth by the renowned psychologist Carl Jung. Jung observed that as an individual's understanding deepens, they often feel increasingly alienated from the world around them. This burden of understanding, as he called it, is the price we pay for the enlightenment that comes with knowledge. Why does this happen, you might ask? Well, as our insights grow more profound, the gap between us and those who adhere to conventional wisdom also widens. We begin to see the world through a lens that is distinctly different from the majority. This divergence from the norm can lead to a sense of isolation, as we struggle to reconcile our newfound perspectives with the prevailing societal beliefs. In essence, the more we know, the more we feel alone. Our thoughts become our solitary companions, and our understanding becomes a wall that separates us from others. This is the paradox of knowledge, a double-edged sword that both illuminates and isolates. Jung's perspective on this burden of understanding provides a unique insight into the existential struggle faced by those who seek deeper truths. It's a struggle that transcends time and space, affecting thinkers and creators throughout history. This paradox of knowledge is a complex and multifaceted concept, one that challenges our perception of wisdom and its implications. It's an exploration of the human condition, a journey into the depths of our consciousness. Therefore, understanding is a double-edged sword, enlightening yet isolating. As we journey further into this exploration, we'll delve deeper into the individual versus collective consciousness, confront our shadows, and reflect on the literary and philosophical parallels of this paradox. So brace yourselves, for the path to knowledge is as challenging as it is rewarding. Thinkers who grasp truths beyond the norm often face rejection, but why is that? Let's delve into the concept of individual versus collective consciousness. You see, collective consciousness is the set of shared beliefs and moral attitudes that operate as a unifying force within society. It's a comfortable, cozy place of shared understanding and mutual agreement, where everyone speaks the same language of accepted truths. The individual consciousness, on the other hand, is a solitary explorer. Venturing into the unknown realms of thought and perception, it dares to question, to challenge, to perceive reality in a way that may not align with the collective. It's a pioneer of new ideas, new truths that might seem strange or even threatening to the collective consciousness. The friction between these two consciousnesses can lead to the societal rejection of those who perceive differently. They become the outliers, the misfits, the solitary thinkers. This is the existential struggle of those who dare to see beyond. As Jung once said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This profound statement introduces us to Jung's theory of the shadow, the dark unconscious part of our psyche that we often deny or ignore. This shadow is not inherently evil, but it is a part of us that we've hidden away, a part of us that holds truths we're unwilling or unready to face. Jung believed that to become truly self-aware, one must confront and integrate this shadow into conscious understanding. This confrontation, however, is not without its challenges. It forces us into a state of heightened awareness, an awareness that can often feel isolating. As we delve deeper into our own psyche, we begin to see the world and ourselves in a different light. We become estranged from our former selves. And in this process of self-estrangement, we often find ourselves distanced from others. The shadow introduces us to truths about ourselves that contradict the image we've cultivated, the image we present to the world. It's a mirror reflecting back at us the things we'd rather not see, the things we've buried deep within us. This process of confronting the shadow, of unearthing these hidden truths, can be a lonely one. These truths are ours alone to bear. They are the secrets we keep even from ourselves. So we find ourselves in a paradoxical state. We seek knowledge, enlightenment, and self-awareness. But this pursuit propels us into a limbo of self-discovery, a state characterized by solitude and introspection. The more we understand ourselves, the more we realize how much we don't know, how much more there is to uncover. This journey into the self, into the shadow, can feel isolating. And yet it's a necessary journey. For it's only by acknowledging and understanding our shadow that we can truly know ourselves. It's only by confronting our darkness that we can truly understand our light. The path to self-discovery often winds through the valleys of solitude. How does literature reflect this isolation of intellectual growth? As we delve into the realms of literature, we find characters who mirror the solitude of enlightenment. These characters, often outcasts and strangers in their societies, provide a stark portrayal of the isolation that comes with intellectual growth. They are the embodiments of the paradox of knowledge, reflecting the duality of enlightenment and isolation. Consider the characters of Fyodor Dostoevsky, a Russian novelist known for his exploration of human psychology in the context of the turbulent political, social, and spiritual atmosphere of 19th century Russia. His characters often grapple with existential dilemmas and moral crises, their profound insights setting them apart from their contemporaries. Take, for instance, Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment. Here is a man who, in his intellectual superiority, believes he can transcend societal norms and take justice into his own hands. His resulting isolation, wrought by guilt and fear, is a chilling illustration of the cost of such intellectual audacity. Then there is Ivan Karamazov from the Brothers Karamazov, who embodies the struggle between faith and reason. His intellectual journey leads him to question God, morality, and the essence of human nature. In his quest for truth, Ivan becomes emotionally and philosophically isolated, straddling the chasm between societal norms and his own profound insights. These characters, and countless others across the literary landscape, embody the alienation of those who transcend societal norms. They bear the burden of understanding, their heightened awareness creating an invisible barrier that distances them from others. Their struggles, their solitude, their internal conflicts, they all mirror the existential loneliness that comes with the pursuit of knowledge. The stories we find in literature, then, are not just tales spun from the minds of their authors, they are reflections of the human condition, echoes of the very real isolation that can accompany intellectual growth. They remind us that the path to enlightenment is not always a journey towards connection and unity, but can also be a road that leads to solitude and self-reflection. Literature, in its own profound way, mirrors the solitude of the enlightened. Nietzsche, like Jung, also highlighted that transcending norms leads to isolation. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, or the overman, represents a being who has broken free from traditional values and norms, striving instead for a higher truth. This Übermensch, living beyond good and evil, is a creator of new values, a self-determining individual whose will to power leads to a life of authenticity and self-overcoming. Yet this pursuit of truth and self-actualization can be a perilous journey. The Übermensch, in his quest for intellectual superiority, may find himself estranged from the rest of humanity. His profound insights, while empowering, often create a chasm between himself and others, leading to an existential solitude. This mirrors Jung's observations on the isolating effects of advanced knowledge. Both Nietzsche and Jung underscore the paradoxical nature of knowledge, where enlightenment can lead to alienation. Thus, the cost of intellectual superiority is often a profound sense of isolation. Profound knowledge can create a disconnect from others, complicating relationships. But why does this happen? It's a strange paradox, really. You'd think that the more we know, the better we'd be at understanding each other, right? But often, the opposite is true. When we delve into higher truths and complex ideas, we're venturing into territory that's unfamiliar to many. It's like speaking a language that only a few can comprehend. This linguistic barrier, so to speak, can lead to feelings of disconnection and further isolation. Imagine carrying a universe of thoughts within you, yet finding no ears willing or able to listen. It's a lonely place to be. The inability to share these deep insights can become a wall, separating us from the rest of the world. In the end, the struggle to communicate our deepest truths often leaves us standing alone. So what is the cost of understanding, you may ask? It's a question that pulls together the threads of our discussion. As we've explored, the pursuit of knowledge, while enlightening, often carries with it a heavy burden. It's as if the deeper we delve into understanding, the wider the chasm between us and the collective consciousness becomes. The paradox of knowledge is that it can liberate us, yet at the same time it can isolate us. We've seen this reflected in literature, echoed in philosophy, and embodied in the inner conflict that comes with heightened awareness. We've touched upon the struggles of communication, the existential loneliness, and the alienation that can result from transcending societal norms. This is the cost of understanding. It's a price that thinkers, creators, and seekers have been paying throughout history, and will continue to do so. As we journey into the depths of understanding, we must be prepared to face the solitude that comes with it. For in the end, the pursuit of truth is a journey of one.